Hello out there. Hi out there. James here. Want to make a video on the latest about the leader of the NFC. They call him Grandmaster Jay. There are people making videos about this man, and I want to inform the ones who is making videos about him that there's certain things that you don't discern about him, that you're not really listening to someone like that. The man has come online to let you know he knows the law, so it's best not to slander him. The man also, when you seen in the videos in Kentucky and Georgia, he showed up. The man showed up and he knew the laws, and the crew, the people that he came with, knew the law on how to make their demonstration basically in town. I know that there's some people out there when they see a black man, like when you see a black man, period, there's a certain segment of people out there that they lump you all in one. They lump you in one in a way that that black people are not too bright. And the reason why they think like this is because they look at history. And so the mindset of some people who have this mind feel like black people never grew and have some type of intelligence. And see, they kind of lump you in the same thing. Like if you try to do something next to whatever occupation or to something like that, that it's like, look here, look, I told you how dumb they are. I know you, I see how less intelligent they are. That's why we call them basically the N-word. But what you fail to realize that we are in the 21st century, and we in 2020. And even though that there are some black people, you see that they how they would they talk, how they would express themselves. You hear them doing a lot of cussing, and then you got some people that think that it's probably from the environment, because because of their education, and it feels like it entitled you. They feel like you're better than this guy. But let me advise you: if a man such as Grandmaster Jay is quoting the law at you, and he has you say go look it up, and it comes back, obviously the man know what he's talking about. He's not your typical black man. What do I mean by that? He's highly intelligent. He's one of the ones that's really highly intelligent. And intelligence that, and he knows his atmosphere. He knows the environment. The man already is already 5 steps ahead of you. If you look at his videos, but you're so trying to critique him and trying to make him seem like he's an imbecile or something like that. This is a new day. And I said, maybe what part of the country you come from, or some part of the area, you were taught to see things like this. And even though you might have been around black people, maybe you might have known or know a few, and maybe whatever your grandfather or your father or your friends, you joked around at a bar or something like that. But this is a whole. But when a man knows his stuff, when a man telling you that he knows the law, and he knows how to go into a city to make his point, just like you see these other groups of people do, whether it was a religious group, whether it's an organization like the Klan, whether it's a group like the militia, any militia group, he knows his right. And what you don't hear is that he knows the same rights that you do, and he probably knows more and got more intel than what you ever had. So what's with the hate about you want to challenge him because you look at his size? You don't know that man. You don't know some people out here. Now I know there's some people out here that think that just because you're quick with a gun and just because you know how to maybe do certain things, but don't you know that there's some people that can match you up, and the people that can match you up don't always have to look like you. And as far as the weapon department, I said, if you look at the man, I said, you can tell he's been, look how shape he's in, and he's at the age that he's in. That, I said, look how much shape you don't know, and I would, even though you're looking at his size and everything, you think you can take him, but you don't know what type of man he is. You don't, and I said, that's when you don't know a man. Don't assume what you see on video. Video is the same thing, and this is my wisdom to anybody. You don't. Just think about it. Some guy makes a phone call, tells and then when he went down into those towns like Kentucky, that state down to which the city of Brunswick, Georgia, where the Aubrey case was at. He went to the Stone Mountain, Georgia, and then the officials knew that they were coming. The officials knew that he was coming to Kentucky. He's telling you basically online. He's telling you, and you get roped up in your feelings. You get hyped up because you think, but you don't know this man. And then you see how fast he pulled up with almost 3,500 people, and they said it was 3,500 to 3,500. The first time he did it was with 1,500. You don't know. You don't understand the power some people have with their voice at this time. And he's he's pretty much telling you, I'm your worst nightmare. And you just, as some people just don't get it, because you're looking at the past and trying to come back to the past when you can put men like us in fear by doing mysterious soft targets and lynchings and killing. This to put the fear back in them, but not all of them. You messing with the wrong man. The man's way intelligent. And if you sit down and you listen to somebody, instead of get up in your feelings about that, he's very intelligent. It's dangerously intelligent. If you provoke him, how just by looking, and you might think just by looking at it, but yeah, just because someone look a certain way, you don't know. That man got a heart of a lion, and he don't care. He don't care if you 8 foot tall with muscles. That's the man and then look at you like, I ain't scared to die. But do you understand what you're dealing with? Are you that off in your head that you're willing to go against somebody who has the same weaponry and military trained, intellectually trained, and try to challenge someone like that? And he already proved himself. And then for some people that do, even if he was trying mysteriously, even if he come out of somewhere, and you know that if he was so-called part of whatever you think what he was, why would you still want to mess with someone like that? Mysteriously come out of nowhere. and you don't know nothing about his background. You don't know where he's coming out, and don't know where his next move. So my advice to you is kind of back down. You should. Advice is to back down. This is the decade to not. This we ain't going back what we used to do. This ain't like the way there was maybe where you in your city, your state. You can pull that, but there's somebody. But if you're dealing with a man that can pull up 3,500 people with guns at your door, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He can track you down. He's more intelligent than what you think he is. If you just sit down and listen to a person, this person just come out of the blue and got the whole world's attention. Think about it. Do you really want to go against someone like that? And this is just a warning. Leave that man alone. This is a whole different type of, this is a whole different kind of person. Just by listening to somebody, you can tell they're not playing around. And it's just like what he said, the man stand by his logo. That NFC, he is not effing around. And he's not playing. And then I have witnessed him talk with the people, because someone had the different videos and definitely talking to the individuals. Not just the news media, they even showed them filming, talking to the representatives in Georgia and Kentucky. And they know that this man knew his stuff. So why, if the man knows the law like that, who do you think you're dealing with? It's time for you to get out of that mindset that we all are illiterate and that we come from illiterate people. That we all think the same, that even when we do something, we can't do it right. See, we still smarter than them as a whole. And this to the people who think like this. It's a whole different type. This is a whole different type of individual. There's a whole different generation of individual. And what you can't understand is the changing of the guard. And so, my warning is to you and to people, other people, is kind of, and then you getting certain digging out false things, and the man's right. If you accuse that man of something, he can sue you. He definitely can get a case. Think about it. So he knows. So he's sitting up there. He's telling you the law, and he's describing what a slandering is. So he's pretty bright. So someone who's like that is like, basically, you don't want to mess around with someone like that. I have heard many people talk. I have seen people like that. But you don't know what kind. We had a different time period. You don't know what time it is. There used to be a time that the bully can put the fear, because nobody was standing up to the bully. Now, no matter what you look like, and even though you might get a good beat up on somebody, you can probably put them in the hospital. But if they get well, and if they live, and they don't forget, so when they roll up on you, don't be surprised. See one thing, what you don't understand, when you see all these stuff in the city, you see the shootings in the black community. What you don't understand is that if one black person got that anger towards another black person, and they just willing to snuff their life out, do you think it's a matter of time that if you that kind of person that's trying to provoke a group of people who's been through all these different things, don't you think you keep it up that it's that like, I'm sorry, but well, I didn't know. Then it's like, hey, what if you get an individual and say, I don't care, you know, and then they might right then take your life. I'm just saying. But sometimes you see, it's like this. Whatever you do, now I saw a couple people challenge him, but if he's not gonna fall for it, he's too intelligent. But if you're crazy enough to go deal with someone, an individual like that, you dealing with. It's like you're dealing with the lion. And just because you're looking at his sizing him up and everything, you don't know. You don't know what kind of individual he is. Then he's been, and you see, he's been in the military, and we don't, and there's just, so he knows some stuff. If you know how to use a hand, if you know how to use a weapon, see it in the hood and see it in the fight. A fight's not fair. So I mean, it's like, when you put two dogs in a ring, and they got to fight to the death, and it's just a beast in us. It's not like when you go to a bar, you go into a bar, you get into a rumble, someone tap on you, you knock the dude out, that's it, and you go back and have another beer, because somehow you just deserve some respect. We're not living in those days no more. See, that don't go along. Sometimes that don't go along with the hood. That's why some of us don't exist. I'm just giving you a mental note. My advice: stop trying to provoke a bear. Stop trying to think that you're the badass of the land because you can use a knife or weapon, especially someone as about as half skilled as he is, just about skilled or even better. When you got a man that has nothing and sit down there and I watch the video and don't have nothing to lose and put his life on the line like that, and you want to deal with the individual and he's telling you, and he's calling you out, and and then he got people that know how to look, so they know how to look if you would try to roll up on them at a certain amount of distance. That's what he displayed down there in Kentucky, and you still want to mess with this individual? Is you crazy, or you just plain stupid? Don't you understand? I'm trying to get you. I hope someone get this to someone. You don't understand? You're not dealing with the individual. Because maybe you've been in a couple fights and maybe you know how to go out there and shoot a gun or something like that. Maybe you've been the badass because you're able to work with a couple people. But sometimes anybody know warfare ain't fair. Everybody knows a fight ain't always fair. But if it's provoked the wrong way, you might regret what you're asking for. So sometimes it's good to do it the peaceful way. Because even though there's a certain part that our people have a peaceful and forgiving way, don't provoke the ones that don't. Don't provoke the ones that will literally take you out. Because everybody is not scared. Not everybody. I'm just saying. So that's what I would say. I wouldn't mess with an individual like that. And he got his ground covered. He's smart. As I've seen a lot of people on social media, but I ain't never seen a man move like that. That can got that many people. That's power. You don't want to mess with a man that got that kind of power. And people follow. That's the leader. and they willing to die for him. This is a new day. This is a new era. I'm warning you, leave him alone. Just saying. I wouldn't mess with someone like him. Take your mouth off of him. He knows what he's talking about. I watched this man, and think about it. If someone come, why would you talk about somebody if they're able to move in dimensions like that? That even the law even the law had to know that he's right. Then when he quotes something, he quoted something out of a law book. He back it up. There were certain things that he mentioned about the military. I asked a couple of friends of mine. They confirmed that what he was saying was right. You're not dealing with some backward ass person. You don't know what you're dealing with. Not all black people are simple-minded, feeble-minded, ignorant, shiftless, lazy. You know the terminology. He's not the one. And I'm not part of that group. I don't know the man. I'm not related. Don't know him. Don't know any of his people. But I know one thing. He's nothing to play with. Just saying. He's nothing to play with. That man, when he said he's going to do something, he follows through with it. Literally. And he even come to social media and warn people, I'm coming this day. And he shows up. Now some people say what they're going to do and they don't follow through. They just say they're going to do. This man does say what he's going to do, and things start rolling. And he makes them roll. And he confirmed it. And he's always filming to confirm too. People don't tell you about that. This is a new era. Old things passed away. We are in a new time. And somebody know how they, just because you little timid with, you good with the gun, good with your fighting skills, but you always gotta remember there's somebody out there is just as crazy, just as skill fighting, and don't care, that can take your life just like that. That's my advice. Not that I'm want to see stuff like that. Lord knows I don't want to see someone lose to do. But if you're dealing with someone, and look at it this way. Look at a person's background. If they already oppressed, they're hungry, they've been discriminated, they like he said, they tired. So when you get tired of getting bullied or oppressed, the system against you, like any other people, you ain't got nothing. It's gonna push you in the mentality, you ain't got nothing to lose. And so if you think you're going to have this, I'm going to oppress somebody, that's the wrong mentality to have to someone who has nothing to lose. When things, their back is up against the wall, they will hurt you to the point that they will kill you. You understand? So it's just my advice is leave him alone. Leave him alone. Don't mess with that man. He's not what you think. And I know it's easy for someone to mock and make that seem just in the feed, but you don't know that man. Sometimes if he's telling you stop, because he knows his laws. He knows the law. He's been behind the wall. And he even said, I've been behind. He's been in boardrooms. He's telling you. Which means in other words, he's ran for president. What does that tell you? And kind of find out, and he shows that he ran for president. He said he'd been in the military. What does that tell you? He's been in the military. Everything he's backed up what he said. What point don't understand? That he don't necessarily, you're trying to provoke him, but you don't know. He's not the kind of person you're not gonna get the angry beast out of him. He's too smart for that. And it's not when someone don't respond, don't mean that they're passive. It's just a matter of time. And when they roll up, this is a new era. It's easy to sit back and be like you said, be like a keyboard bully. He's right. But when if he's telling you, I'm coming to your face and I'm coming to your state, and he challenged the organization, meet me man to man, and someone say meet me man to man, what does that tell you? That this is I'm crazy, and it's like someone said, look, I'm crazy, I'll kill you. You want to get crazy? Let's get crazy. I mean, it's almost like a mentality. If someone got that kind of mentality, he said, "Don't push me." But if I get to that mentality, and you thinking that because you thinking that you're gonna get the best of me, no. Let me tell you something. Years ago, I was in the club. I used to go out to a dance club. And I remember one time I seen me and my friends in the club. We were dancing and doing things like that. All of a sudden, a fight break out, and the guy, how it broke out was, it was one short guy. He was really small. The guys that jumped him were about 6 feet tall. They were solid like football players. This guy, who was about 5 feet tall, knocked these guys out. Okay, he was about 5. These guys are over 6 feet tall, and him and this girl was taking on these guys. I mean, these guys are coming full blows like this, and I'm like, dang. I mean, it happened. They jumped them that so fast. It happened quick. That's how fast it quick. That's how fast the fight went out. I say this. And say that just because someone look a certain size, don't underestimate them, because he grew up in an era. It sounded like he was taught how to fight, and he's gonna make sure he's gonna come home. He's gonna win. He's not gonna lose. If you tangle with him, he's gonna come home and win. And he might look at him, see his small frame and things like that, but you got the wrong, I'm telling you, got the wrong man. Because something behind, look into a person's eyes, you know they mean business. So I just want to make this video, and I see, because I make this video to these people that's trying to attack this man, and they're trying to challenge it. And they say, well, you come on down here. You don't want a piece of him. Even if he's not going to respond to you. But if you don't, believe me, he'll make you, he's the kind of guy to make you feel like you can't, you wish you haven't. And I can just tell when I look, that man has seen some stuff. He's been through some stuff. And I mean some stuff you don't even imagine. You living out in your little neck of the woods, whatever. This man been through some stuff, and I have relatives. I know that they clock out. You know, they know how to clock out, and it kind of reminds me of my uncle. My uncle is a smaller man, is in shape. I have a buddy of mine in service, and what they did is sometimes. He said we have to fight, just like they do in the prisons and the jails. We got to fight, and so, and when they fight, they fight. I mean, we fight. fight time, I'm gonna practically have to kill you, knock you out to kill you, to fight. And I've seen how the way he's probably that type. You don't. I said, don't. I'm telling you. I'm just warning you. I said, just a warning. Don't mess with that man. Don't get him that point. Don't look at his size. Because he know. He's been trained too. If he's military, he might know more than what you think. I'm just saying, if you ever come across an individual like him, don't see. That's what people underestimate. It's not the size. It's not because someone look a certain way. It's not because of age. You don't know. Some, So those people out there is making that threat. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's not an individual that you want to make. And he don't even have to really do that. He know get you to the court because he knows the law. No laws. So obviously he's well rounded to the point that he knows, just like the laws that the guys you see that were able to carry the guns and everything, before they able, he knows what states to go to. He knows the man is smart. The man is smart. He's very discerning. He's very discerning. He's not your typical person to go, oh, hey, just he's not your typical guy to go shooting up the hood, whatever. He's trained. So the people with him is trained. So it's not like they just, it's not like you see one of them young fellas in the hood, which you see on TV, and they holding the cow. No. They're trained. Just like them other guys are trained. You get trained versus trained people. Just like you see people out there training, how they train in the hood, in the backward yards, they train the same way. You know how the way you fight in your skill with the knife and everything, they train the same way. They train the same way. Just think about it. There's probably a couple MMA fighters in this group. There's probably a couple martial artists in this group, women and men. Why would you want to mess with somebody and you think that you're big and tough and you go down there and they can take off the gun and whatever, they can go hand to hand. They train like that. Why don't people don't understand like this? You're not dealing with the black people of the past. You're not dealing with that. You're not going to psych them out. They know. They're trained. He trains them, probably train them pretty well. We don't, like I said, I'm just observing from just listening to the man. Just listening. But my discernment is that this man is nothing I've ever seen. If you ever, and he knows, he's the type of man, he's very smart. And I don't know him, but I can discern. He's not gonna let you know. People have been trying to trip him up about information, certain things. He's not gonna tell you because he has watched past leaders been betrayed, infiltrated. He's too smart, so he's not gonna let you know where his organization. He's not going to let you know who is in his organization. He's not going to let you know certain things. What he tell you? Because it's a safety reason. The man is smart. I'm telling you, smart he is. And if you kind of person, even if someone that look like me try to talk with him, he's not going to tell me because he's 5 steps ahead of it. Because he knows that it had to be somebody of their own to look like their own to take down stuff. He already knows his stuff. This man is smart. He don't tell anybody. Only the people that's close to him. And that's smart. So the reason why you can, well, he got to be some kind of an agent. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Why would you why would you let your enemies know? And you know that when you do something like that, they're gonna come after you. Then so he got to protect him, and he got to protect the people who's associated with him. And he's smarter. He's way ahead of you. Stop trying to think, and those out there trying to get it, you can't. You won't be able to. Whatever, unless he allow you to. Unless he lets something go, or someone turn their back on him. But even if you do that, it's not going to be good. This man is serious. That's how serious he. I could look at somebody and know they're not playing. They locked down. No one's going to infiltrate them. And I know how somebody, even if you be friends with a black person, to try to do he already know. That's how smart he is. He know what kind of he's very discerning. When people, and that's just smart. It's just the same thing when you look at countries, or go around a group of individuals or country. People don't tell you everything that they do. I mean, our government tried to, for example, learn about other governments, and only the governments only know so much. But there's some stuff about other countries that we don't know. Our intelligence don't know their intelligence. They try to infiltrate our intelligence, but there's only so much that they can do and switch it over until it's too late. In some cases, a lot of people don't let secrets out, especially if it's a group or organization. And see, black people have been betrayed this to, because even in the political party, there are some people who say, well, black people see color so much. Well, let me get a black person to make that a friend. So if I'm friends with a black person, they can let down their guard. And say, see, look cool. I like rap music and da 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 da. There's some black people already know this, and some black people might take you at face value, but there's some black people already know that you're real, and they know when you infiltrate them. You can't fool us no more. I'm trying to tell you something. Listen to what I'm telling you. Just if anybody hear my video, pass it to the ones that's trying to do this stuff. Tell them stop. I'm telling you. Don't mess with these individuals from NFAC. Don't do it. Don't do it. You should be aware of them. This is a whole different era, a whole different degree. You know how people were scared of this organization, the Klan, and these other different groups like them? No, you need to worry about them. Because if any time a man can pull up that many people like that, that's something you need to be concerned about. Armed and ready. And know the law. Even if something come out, they're already covered. Know about the law, and they got someone to be able to get them out just like that. Especially if it's justifiable. See, this is a whole different, he's trying to tell you, it's a whole different era. See, it's not like the Goliath, sometimes the Goliaths are coming down. See, the Goliaths will always used to terrorize the land. And they will always win because they had the military power, the might, the strength, the territorial power. And to put fear into the other nations. And so that gives them emboldened to be with be where the heck they want to be. They can just take over. Some people got this take over. You timid. I just push you out the way, and you might do that to some people. But some people, you're not gonna push out the way without getting a response. And the very response, we in that era right now. Not everybody's gonna turn the other cheek. Not everybody's gonna be timid because maybe you beat up a couple people in high school or in college. Not everybody's gonna turn around. So that's my advice. Don't mess with someone like this. Because if someone like this come out of nowhere that's telling you something and you don't know, there's gotta be a reason. Well, let me kind of find out. He's only what he allowed to be put out there. Because he gonna cover. The man's too smart. He knows this. He knows I got to put some information out. But even if it was something that was really secretive, you would never know. You would never know if he was part of a quote some secret code or organization. He's not gonna tell. You're not gonna find out. So stop wasting your time. What I'm saying is stop wasting your time doing this. Just all you have to do is listen to somebody. Don't get all up in your feelings. Just listen. Time comes with age. Just listen what someone's saying to you. And just watch and observe. It may not, to some people, it may sound kind of, but no. Those who've been around, those who've been on the other side of that door, understand where he's coming from. See, you can't go around any group of people and not pick up what their ways is. Whatever atmosphere you live in, whether it's in the suburbs, a rural area, the inner city, you pick up whatever is in that atmosphere. You know your atmosphere. You know the people of that atmosphere. Well, Mr. Jay knows his atmosphere. He knows where to go. He knows when he gets into a certain atmosphere, he adapts to the atmosphere. It may not. Some people might not understand that, but I understand that. Because you can't go looking one way and present in one way. You're supposed to be this way and be that way. No, you have to know your atmosphere. Because if you come in this way, it could intimidate somebody. And the smartest thing to do when you're in those other atmosphere, you have to let the enemy bring down the shield. Let them feel comfortable. Because their true nature is going to come out. Their true self going to come out. Just like him. I was raised in the city. Just like it was a school. Went to the suburbs. My parents are working class. But I understand. In the church, and it was predominantly one set of people. Then people didn't look like me. And so when you go from the inner city to the suburbs, your atmosphere change. Your tongue change. And when you go around a certain upper echelon people, the way you speak change, the way you talk change. And so when you go back around the people who's not in that environment, they don't understand that. You are of what you in your atmosphere. Example, I could be in the hood and you could just talk slang and pick out some things, with the cuss words and everything else. And someone can say, man, well, he's, he can say he's a real G. But I can't carry the same mentality when I go out there to the suburbs, because the language is, the atmosphere is different. They wouldn't understand what I can't talk the same way that you talk to you, a certain way you talk to your people. Here we do. They can watch all the rap videos and everything else. They still, and that'd be with the younger people, but they'd be like, oh, that sounds so cool. Wow, man. So, what's up, my dog? What's up? What's up? What's up? But they don't. And the reason why, because people do this. So, he's been in different atmospheres, different environments. And that's why some people, why he's a president? Why is he's a rapper, he was a president? Because whatever atmosphere you are, you become the atmosphere to see what's around you. You gotta see how to adapt to people around you. That's common sense. You can't be the same hooded person and going into the wealthier neighborhoods with a hood mentality. Because if you go out there and talking like that, the people already know. Even if you see they were black, they're gonna look at you funny. Like, oh my God, how did one of these people get out here? They know. So therefore, you have to carry yourself a certain type of way. And so it may look like, and so when the videos that he was allowed to show on, I understood that. And even though he learned something to get where he's at, but when he got to the top, he saw what was behind the shield. He saw what was behind the door. And some people perceive you one way, and when you're seeing this, and I've been around suburban environments. When you're around a suburban environment, you can't act like you in the hood. You watch people, it's very mellow, laid back, and it's so, how can I say this? When you around that type of people who are white, you can't be like around the people who is in the country, or the people who's in just straight up is in the city slanging. It's a different atmosphere. Even though they try to be like that out in the suburbs, but no. They shut that down. They let them know, no, you're not gonna be a white in. They let them know. They let them know. Even though they could be a little rebellious with the coloring of the hair, and with the gothic look and things like that. But when you're in the suburb, it's a whole different atmosphere than you deal with inner city. I'm trying to get on something. So that's what this man was able to transcend through these different areas, so he could connect and see what was behind what is behind the political game. So that's why he knows these things, because he was able to adapt to the environment. He's not an agent. It's just called adapting. So he can learn from people, to learn the atmosphere. That's what Grandmaster Jay is about. He's an adapter. Whatever environment he is, he know how to adapt. He know what language to talk. He know the demeanor. That's why I understand. And this is the only way to put it intellectually. You can't be the same person that you are around at different atmosphere of people, because they don't understand. For example, I can't sit up there and be like, just kicking and shitting and kicking and shit, and someone from, even though they look like me, they could be some part of the world, don't know what the heck I'm talking about. So I have to kind of balance myself out. Talk like I got some with integrity and some sense, in order for this to transition to this person who's learning my language and learning the way of life here. I can't sit down and talk like that. And it don't mean that you're not being real. It's just that you know that this person is trying to understand you, but you can't look. You can't talk like, hey man, nigga, we give me some bread and shit. I mean, I can't talk like that around some individuals when you coming over from a different part of the world. That's what that is. So you're not trying to be white. I want to clarify that. Talk white. That's among black people, some black people. You're trying to talk like you got some sense. So people can understand where you're coming from. You have to be balanced. So yeah, but now that he's balanced, he's come back, and you understand the other side, the lower side of people who's unjust. That's the way he's communicating to the people who understand that. That's why he expressed himself the way he did. So, because some people, that's what. Let me talk them up. When he say talk them up, some people. That's the only language they understand, and that's the truth. But when he talked to the media, when he talked to individuals on the platform, you see, and that's just what they call adapting the environment. Doesn't mean, because when you go to see the president and when you see the king and queen, there's a certain posture you have to walk. You can't go down look with jeans and with your shirt hanging and your hair, whatever. You have to. There's a certain royalty you have to dress. And when people see that, when you go into the atmosphere, and when you present yourself, then they listen to you and they respect you. That's what it's about. So no, he's not trying to be something that he's not. Well, he was rap music. Yeah, but you have people that come among black people every day, trying to be hip, and they've never been trying to be rebellious because they want to be different. That's a fact. Because they want to understand black culture. So they try to think they go through music or video. It's people, that's the only way they learn to know about black people. This is the truth. I have met people like that. It's like, dang, no, there's more dimensions to us. Man, I like Tupac Shakur. I know that. Yeah, I do too. And so they go try to talk slang, but they don't. But it's not in you because you're not from that environment. And some black people will know you're not from that environment. Just like if I was trying to speak Spanish, and even though I could be around somebody, but the people who speak Spanish would know I'm not used to speaking Spanish. They know. That's the truth. So I just want to make this video and to let you know what kind of individual you're dealing with, and just be warned. Just don't mess with this guy. Just he's not. It's nothing to play with. He's nothing to mess around with. And so because he's been popping up on the feed. That's why I made another video about it, because I've been seeing people making videos. I'm like, and I didn't get it. I don't watch them all. I just know that they picking at him about things. But I'm just saying, hey, this is not the individual. This ain't like we're not in your granddaddy's days. This is a whole new day. Leave this person alone. So that's my advice, is that, hey, don't go out there trying to poke the lion while he's sleeping. Because when you wake up and he's hungry, it may not be a pretty ending. So that's my advice. Just heed my advice, my warning. Don't mess with that man of NFAC. He's not who you think he is. He's at a whole different level of person. And then I can even There's some people that, when you realize that they're at a level that maybe I can't even comprehend. And it's not like I'm praising. I just said sometimes, like for example, let me take this from a spiritual perspective. Make a quick talk about this. If you ever dealt with a component in church and you deal with the same spirit, and God gave you the ability just to deal with the season of these same spirits, but there might be a different spirit. It's stronger than the spirit. So before God launches you to go deal with the heavier, stronger spirits, you gotta stay in your lane with these spirits, because you might get over and deal with some kind of spirit is in the land. Let's say in Africa somewhere, and he's 10 times stronger than what you have done. And he's like, I think I could go take on that spirit. No, he didn't equip you to deal with that, because that's a whole different. It takes a different individual to deal with that type of individual. So what I'm saying is, some individuals, just because they look a certain way, don't let the looks fool you. Don't let the looks deceive you. So you have to watch. You gotta know who your opponent is. Don't perceive, don't assume. Just because someone look a certain way, I can do it. No. You might find out the hard way. Just like I use the example, someone thought that someone someone big as on the what can take someone, can throw them against the wall because they so big, and they bully with their power. But they don't underestimate the person who's small, know how to hit, and know how to take them down. That's what I learned in life, and I've seen it with my own eyes. So, overall, just get along with somebody. Just take your mouth off the individual. He's not going. Another thing, you're not going to provoke him. He's too smart. So just kill it, man. Stop with the videos. He's proven who he is. So cut it out. That's what I'm saying. So hope you guys have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon where you at. Till next time, you guys take care out there, and just heed the warning. Don't mess with something that you're not familiar with, or person, or individuals who have power. Sometimes it's power that can assimilate people. That's the person you don't want to mess with. Just remember, thank you for hearing this. Watch this video. Take care.